A massive funding announcement for the regional hospital, courtesy in large part to the Thunder Bay 50/50. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan Benazzo. The Thunder Bay Regional Health Sciences Centre is celebrating the largest single gift in its history after accepting nearly $23 million from the Hospital Foundation. The record-breaking investment is entirely driven by community generosity through donors, foundation events, and the popular Thunder Bay 50/50 draw, of course. Jaden Billick has the details.
We need this new level of funding to ensure that we have the right tools in the hands of professionals to deliver the care to our friends, our family members, and ourselves.
Hospital CEO Glenn Craig says the $22.8 million in funding marks a major turning point for the regional hospital as it carries out several long-planned improvements. $9.3 million of that is being invested to build and equip the hospital's new cardiovascular surgery unit, which is currently under construction and scheduled to open in 2028. Craig says the very successful monthly 50/50 draws played a huge part in this record-setting investment, along with money from donors.
This is going to help everything from helping the cardiac surgery program become a reality, helping bring a new linear accelerator to our cancer program, helping with the emergency department, helping with the mental health department, surgery, diagnostic imaging, beds that are going across this facility. Every service at the hospital has benefited from this announcement today.
More than $10.3 million has been approved through the Foundation's Capital Grants program, which includes 43 grants across the hospital. One large investment is $3 million over 5 years towards replacing 195 patient beds with new smart beds. There's also $1 million towards new linear accelerators used for radiation therapy and $1.4 million for a new fluoroscopy unit.
We're certainly in an enviable position to be able to replace our aging capital and be able to modernize and being able to bring in new and innovative methods to be able to bring surgeries up to a new level when it comes to robotics and that sort of thing. So there's so many different things that we're actually enabling us to bring our clinicians those tools. So that really helps with recruitment and retention, and in this day and age that is critically important.
Crocker Ellicott and Craig say as the 22-year-old hospital ages and healthcare becomes more expensive, this new level of funding from the Health Sciences Foundation will become even more crucial as time goes on. Jaden Billick, TBT News.
The Thunder Bay Police Service Board had a full table at today's monthly meeting after 2 vacancies were recently filled. Mark Figliamini is the board's new executive director, and the police board's new provincial appointee, Laird Van Dam, was in attendance as well. Jessica Clement has the details.
Mark Figliamini has been appointed as the first ever executive director for the Thunder Bay Police Service Board, a position he's expected to officially start on December 1st.
Happy again to be named the role, and again honored, and very much look forward to working with the board, with the community, and with the service.
Figliamini brings 15 years of experience in municipal governance and public sector administration to the role, having served as a municipal councillor, the mayor of Schreiber, and most recently CAO of the town of Red Rock. He's looking forward to engaging with the community and members of the board.
Fostering those relationships, I believe that relationships are the vital point to any position, especially one at a senior leadership level. So again, meeting and assisting the board and the service with the transparency pieces, with the governance and policy, and then with the community stakeholder relationships that can be built with all stakeholders in the community.
Executive Director is a brand new position for the board, replacing the secretary position, and is expected to help bring a higher level of strategic direction and governance. Chair Karen Machado says they've been looking for someone to fill the new role for around a year, and she thinks Figliamini's experience makes him a good fit.
His specific internal knowledge of our city, our situation, the history that this board and this service have gone through. So we had that, plus the governance oversight role as far as knowing city processes, functions, not being a city person per se, but knowing those structures and being able to lead us and guide us through that process.
New provincial appointee Laird Van Dam, a forester and consultant based in Thunder Bay, shadowed his first meeting on Tuesday. He replaced Wayne Belita, whose term ended back in September. Van Dam is looking forward to getting brought up to speed on police board issues.
I got to take some more training, and read a lot of background material. But I know the mayor fairly well and the police chief, so I thought, why not? I've lived here a long time. I'll give some time back to the community.
We're very pleased to have him on board because we're back up to full capacity now and can share and work with the workload and get some new perspective, because everyone brings variety and different opinions and diversity, so we're looking forward to working with him.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
Thunder Bay Police have requested funding assistance from senior levels of government to help offset the costs of searching the city landfill in connection with the death of 42-year-old Deborah Anishinaabe. The latest update to the 2025 operating budget shows the police force spent a total of $700,000 searching for her remains. Anishinaabe was murdered last December, and the landfill search began 2 months ago. $600,000 was used for truck and equipment rentals, while another $100,000 went to police overtime costs. The work is expected to finish later this week. Deputy Police Chief Jeremy Pearson isn't providing details about whether or not anything's been found, but notes it's been a real learning experience for the service. And while there's a significant price tag attached, Pearson says the focus has to be on doing the job right.
There's, of course, a dollar figure attached to every step that you take, particularly in something as large scale and as physically demanding as this. However, we have to acknowledge that the costs are secondary to the investigative goals and to the service to the community we have to provide in an investigation such as this.
As the temperatures continue to drop, the number of emergency beds available for Thunder Bay's homeless is about to rise. The District Social Services Board has announced $2.8 million to increase shelter bed capacity from 126 to 191 for the winter months. That overflow is sorely needed as the city's homeless village won't be ready to open until the spring. Jonathan Wilson reports.
The DSAB announced the details this week of its $16 million homelessness prevention program for the coming year. $2.8 million of that is earmarked for emergency shelter solutions for the colder months. The 4 agencies getting that funding are Urban Abbey to provide 25 overflow beds on Simpson Street, the Salvation Army to double its beds from 20 to 40. Shelter House will offer 10 overflow beds on top of its regular 61 beds, and Grace Place will increase its emergency beds from 25 to 35 over the winter.
We have a system where they all work together, they all communicate with each other every evening, who has space available, who might be getting close to full. There's transportation to get people between the emergency shelters. So it is a unified system, everybody works together.
The funding amount and total number of shelter beds is similar to last winter, rising slightly from 188 to 191. The recent point-in-time count showed a dramatic increase in homelessness in Thunder Bay, but Renta says they will have enough beds for those who want one.
The capacity that we had last year was never maximized for an extended period of time. The coldest nights, people did come in, but there was always space available throughout the system on an extended period through last winter. Ideally, that's what we're looking at this year, but if the pressures mount, we will have opportunity to expand the system as well.
Meanwhile, trees are now being cleared on Alloy Place for Thunder Bay's temporary shelter village. But after numerous delays, the 80 units will not be ready to open this winter.
When it looked like there was going to be some delays with respect to construction and getting things open, that's when we started working again with our shelter providers and saying, in anticipation of some additional need, let's make some spaces that are available on a contingency basis.
Assuming the shelter village is up and running smoothly next winter, Renta expects it will help reduce the demand for overflow beds at the 4 local emergency shelters by December of 2026.
It'll be interesting because, of course, if we're putting, or the city is putting additional spaces into the emergency support system, it should take pressure off others. Ideally, it reduces the impact on overflow shelter spaces. I don't imagine that any of the 4 emergency shelter providers would not be in operation, but the number of spaces they would have, particularly those that are in an overflow environment, could be reduced.
Jonathan Wilson, TBT News.
The Ontario government is exploring the idea of making impaired drivers pay child support if they kill a child's parent or guardian. It's part of a new PC crime bill expected to be tabled at Queen's Park later this month. CTV's Beth McDonnell has more.
Morning, sir. How you doing?
In Ontario in 2021, 182 people died because of impaired driving, and today it's still the leading cause of death on the province's roads.
The victims, quite frankly, the children who are left behind, can be more protected.
The Ford government is working on new measures that would require impaired drivers to pay child support if a child's parent or guardian is killed.
We're going to talk to the justice partners, talk to the federal government, talk to other jurisdictions, and we're going to find what's going to work best, and then we will take action on it.
The government says it's looking for ways to ease the burden from impaired driving tragedies and provide financial stability for children left behind.
If they can get it into law that this is an automatic thing if you're convicted for impaired driving causing death, then there's not a whole new process to go through. That just becomes part of the penalty. So I don't see any negatives to it.
In 2023, the government says Texas introduced a requirement when impaired drivers kill a parent or guardian and are convicted of intoxication manslaughter, they must pay child support until the minor turns 18 or graduates high school. The leader of the opposition says the province needs to look at every tool available and will look at the proposal. But
honestly, this government's been in power for 8 years now, and they don't seem to have made much effort in that direction, unfortunately. I don't think, for example, that deciding to put booze in gas stations is probably the right approach to curbing drinking and driving.
We're seeing way too frequently individuals who are causing carnage in Ontario, and we're seeing children, we see reporters report on it. And it's a tragedy, and it's something that we can do something about.
The plan is to examine the Texas example and others in the hopes of making impaired drivers more accountable. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
2 women from southern Ontario are facing drug trafficking charges following an OPP traffic stop that led to a major cocaine bust valued at around $1.8 million. It happened just before noon on October 29th along Highway 1117 in Shunya. Thunder Bay OPP announced the details today. Their officers stopped an SUV for a traffic violation and discovered 18 kilograms of suspected cocaine inside. A 26-year-old woman from Oshawa and a 29-year-old woman from Ajax were both charged with cocaine trafficking. They remain in custody pending their next court date. Thunder Bay's long-awaited tennis bubble is finally showing visible signs of progress. Tennis Center officials are now confident that the Rogers Tennis Dome will be ready for play by the start of the new year. Crews were on the ground and a large crane was busy at Chapels Park today. The components for the large inflated dome have been delivered to the site in preparation for the structure to be erected. Once it's complete, the 6-court facility will be open year-round for tennis and pickleball. In fact, the Tennis Center has already begun taking registrations for its first Winter League to begin during the holidays.
The main team from Farley Group is coming December 2nd to spread out the fabric and inflate the dome. So they're going to be, once the dome's up, they're going to be getting all the lighting, insulation, all that stuff up and running. And then after that, it's about a 2-week period to get everything finalized. And I think they're hoping to get us in their best case scenario Christmas Eve. So we will have a soft opening, and then Rogers is one of our big partners with Tennis Canada. So we'll be having, come January, we'll be having definitely having a grand opening for that to happen. And just let people know if they're interested, they can go online at thunderbaytennis.com.
And that Winter League is scheduled to launch on December 29th in advance of the full opening to the public. All right, well, it's great to have that on the horizon. Haley, I know a lot of tennis players and pickleball players in the city, very excited. But as for today, temperature's still not all that bad. You could probably catch a couple people playing outside.
Yeah, I mean, I know if I was playing a game of tennis or pickleball, I'd probably still be full long sleeve and long pants, but it's still definitely possible. We had another day above seasonal, which is wonderful to see. A high of 4, which we reached around 4 this afternoon. And that's around 4 degrees above seasonal. We should be right around the freezing mark as a high for this time of year. But our overnight low into the early morning low was quite the shift from what we have seen. We're seeing double-digit negative temperatures, a low of -12 at 7 this morning with a wind chill making it feel like -16. Now that is slightly colder than a typical low for this time of year. We're looking for lows around -9. So it's not drastically colder, but it definitely was something to wake you up this morning. As for the winds though, fairly light, mainly from the west, around 4 kilometers an hour. We gusted up to around 9 kilometers an hour, which is not much to worry about at all. I know I was out for a walk today. It was beautiful and sky conditions really ranged. I saw a lot of sunny skies, but there was moments of cloud coverage as well. Now for the region, we are seeing temperatures at this hour that are cooler than daytime highs because as soon as that sun sets, you see a significant drop, especially if there's no clouds to keep in the daytime heat. Now areas to the west, some places are still only a few degrees cooler than their daytime high. For example, Red Lake, they saw increasing clouds throughout the day. They had a high of 1. They are now at 0, similar to Sioux Lookout and Upsala. Upsala was a little chilly as well. They had a high of just 2, but their morning low was -15, so they were definitely feeling it. Wind chills often making it feel 2 to 4 degrees colder at times. Fort Frances was another area that had a fairly cool morning. They had a low of -14, but their wind chill made it feel even colder. They did get up to a high of 4 though today with mainly clear skies for the most part, so fairly nice for them, and a high of 4 in Atikokan as well. They had a very calm day, so not much winds to speak of at all. Armstrong, in contrast, was one of the coolest areas in the region this morning. They had a low of -19 with a wind chill making it feel like -21. So anyone in Armstrong, I hope you are bundled up because yes, it's much cooler there, and they're at -4 right now. Their high was below the freezing mark of -2. Greenstone also had a high of -2. They were sunny all throughout the day. They are still clear at this hour. Marathon and Wawa also at -4. Now, Wawa had a high of just -3, so they haven't seen much of a dip yet. Sault Ste. Marie, however, they had a high of 4. They're now at the freezing mark, and they've had a mostly cloudy day throughout, but now they are just partly cloudy. As for Thunder Bay tonight, we will have a clear night, a low of -8, which is right around seasonal. That is what we're supposed to be seeing, with a wind chill of -12 at the coolest point. Winds continuing from the west and still staying very light. So really, this is exactly what we're looking for this time of year, Ryan. So yes, it's wonderful to see, and we're hoping that it stays that way. But of course, with the fluctuating temperatures changing for the season, we could also see a change from rain to snow potentially. We've seen it a little bit already, and it could be coming again later this week.